The MSU community, the state, and really the nation are all mourning the mass shooting that took place on Monday that took the lives of 3 students and critically injured 5 other students. And this morning, we do want to take some time to talk about ways to deal with grief because so many are grieving. Joining us this morning is Dr. Jeffrey Guina, Chief Medical Officer with Easterseals MORC. Thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
So first off, everyone handles trauma so differently. What are some healthy ways that we can work through this?
So as you said, everybody reacts to traumas differently and everyone copes with traumas differently. And some people, after something like this, they may be doing fine, and that's okay. And some people may even be feeling guilty about feeling okay. Other people are going to feel anxious, are going to feel a sense of terror. Some people are going to feel numb, and that's kind of their mind's way of protecting themselves. And that's okay in the short term, but if those things persist, we really want to make sure people are taking care of themselves. So number one, most important thing to do is just talk about what's going on and put those feelings to words, whether that's with a loved one or a professional, a therapist, a psychiatrist like me. Talking about these things is really important for helping you process and get through it and get back to normal.
What if you see someone that you love, whether it be a friend or a family member, really struggling through this? What should you do?
So I think it's really important not to ignore it, because we know that one of the worst predictors of developing post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety after a trauma is avoiding talking about it, isolating oneself, avoiding reminders or people, places that might remind you. So helping someone get back to routine, helping them talk about what they're going through, and just listening, not necessarily trying to fix everything for them, because you can't fix it, but just listening and being there with them and trying to empathize with what they're going through.
We've heard from a lot of students on campus in the past couple days, and some of them have expressed fear about returning to campus, saying that they don't feel like it could be a safe space anymore. How do you cope with that? How do you move on and move forward and continue your education?
Absolutely. After something like this happens, everything in your being tells you, get away. Don't talk about it. Don't go to those places that remind you of what happened. But actually, we know that avoidance really increases the risk of having problems later. In the short term, it feels good, it helps, but in the long term, it makes things so much worse. And so it's so important to get back to routine as soon as possible. Some people need to ease themselves back into it. Some people need to go full force back into routine. But leaning on your support system and people you trust can really help you get through that. And the other thing, as important as doing things to help you get through it, there's some should nots that are just as important, if not more important. Not drinking, not using drugs or alcohol. And that can be really difficult, I think, on college campuses where drinking, smoking, vaping might be kind of part of the culture. And during this time, that's really going to increase the risk of having problems in the long term.
Such important advice with us this morning. Dr. Guina, thank you so much. Easterseals MORC, for anyone that wants to learn more and really wants to work through this time. So we appreciate you being here with us this morning.
Yes, thank you so much.